the Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show,
Presented by Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours.
on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
From the Jamborees to the Superdome.
Your source for the most up-to-date scores and stats is right here. Now, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, here's Todd Black, Jimmy Roy, and Cade Wazan.
Good evening and welcome to the 2021 season of the Lake Urgent Care, Lake After Hours, Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show. Cade Wazan, Todd Black, and Jimmy Roy. Ryan Kennedy on the audio board. Taylor Sharp producing video for us tonight. And Charlie and Will helping gather scores. We appreciate their help. Skip is on assignment.
TikTok assignment, that is.
That's right. We'll follow up with that a little bit later on in the show. Thanks so much to all of those who are tuning in. Now joined by our audience on Cox Sports Television for yet another season, and we're very appreciative of Jeff Brenner and the team having us back on CST so we can get to a statewide audience. However you may be watching us or listening to us tonight, we genuinely appreciate it, and we can't start the show without mentioning our thoughts and prayers out to our neighbors here in Baton Rouge, out in the Livingston Parish area that have been hit hard, and certainly out in Terrebonne Parish, Lafourche Parish, Orleans, Jefferson, and heck, the North Shore as well, because Hammond got hit pretty good, and that area got hit pretty good. So, man, it's been a rough week. We left the show last Friday, discussing what could happen in contingencies, and I don't think anyone expected this. And I really, thought about over the week how these things impact what we do here on this show. And for the second straight season, a storm has impacted either now, I guess you can say a calendar year. The state has had a punch thrown its way by Mother Nature on each side, southwest and now southeast. And it's been tough because we were talking about in the preview show just a couple of weeks ago, boy, it would be great to have a 10-game season, a playoffs, just, I don't know, a normal, boring season. But challenges are character builders for sure, and I know that this area of the country is certainly very resilient, and we hope our friends down on the Bayou are as well.
We were very fortunate here in the Baton Rouge area, but talking with coaches throughout the state this week, it'd be interesting to see how many can bounce back. If they do, they may play a half a season. You got to keep.
My bad.
You're gonna have to work on keeping your players from moving out. Some of them do not have a home to come to. It's just it's gonna be a tough time for a lot of South Louisiana right now. And we're going to talk with Eric Held, try to get with him, who is the head of the Coaches Association, who obviously has talked to coaches throughout the state. See if he can supply us with a little bit of information as to what we can expect, because we just don't know right now.
And you see these trucks from wherever, coming from New York and Washington. I don't know where they come from, but they're all over. These linesmen, man, you couldn't do it without them. I mean, these people come together. They did it in Lake Charles. They did it for us here. Just imagine if we didn't have them, how long we'd be without power. So appreciate you guys.
And Central High School was letting them in. They're using their stadium for a parking lot in the back there, and they were allowing them to come into games for free, which I thought was a nice gesture.
Yeah, I know that there's frustration. Your frustration can't be with the linemen out there they're working 16-hour days, 8 hours off. And I'm sure that not those whole 8 hours are spent sleeping, but 16-hour shifts, 8, and it's just round the clock trying to get things back.
And they run a night shift too.
Yeah.
I've seen it firsthand how they operate. It's the most impressive thing you'll ever see.
It's amazing that they got in football here in Baton Rouge. We had a couple games, and the rest of the state, North Louisiana, southwest part of the state, and in the Acadiana area. So,
yeah, and there's a lot of good matchups set for the first couple of weeks, and we'll get into it a little bit later. But I mean, to start the season off, you got a pair of state champs in Acadiana and Karen Crow. That's really that's something special. And then you get a matchup that some of these that maybe you didn't think could happen, like a Madison Prep and a St. Thomas More, just kind of. Well, they needed opponents and things worked out, and then we saw an early season edition of that Sugarcane Classic over there in West Baton Rouge.
And then, Jimmy, you have Acadiana coming here. No, it's coming here next week.
Coming here next week to play Catholic High.
Another state champion. Well, asterisks.
Well, Catholic did break their fourth season losing streak tonight.
That's an impressive win to come out of the chute for David Semino.
They traveled up to Maryland and had a really good win over a very good cancel team is their name. And what did they ended up 35-10, Calicut. That's a good win for Coach Semino in his first game as a Bear.
Yeah,
the last time that Calicut hired a head coach from Calicut Point could be, they had a little bit of success in Dale Weiner.
interesting tie-in. I like that. He does his research. It's interesting though for Coach Semino because it's not your ordinary. We talk about and Coach Semino was the head coach, so it's not his first head coaching job, but the first game you coach at this school, you're going up in class. There's a lot more involved, and you make a road trip like this. Yeah. I think there's a lot that goes into making the road trip out towards Lafayette or maybe to Ruston or something like that. But getting everybody together, coordinating the team, everything that's going on, and then going to Maryland and pulling off a win, and then I don't think that can be understated.
We're going to talk to Coach Semino at some point tonight, and that's one of a great question is the logistics of it, putting it together, traveling all the equipment, those type of things. It'd be interesting to see how they went about it.
New staff, new athletic director, the whole gamut. And it was impressive, but David's a pretty organized dude, and you have to be to go on a trip like this and win it this impressively.
Absolutely.
In the pre-show here, you had a chance to hear our conversations with Lon Elsie with VSN and one of our sponsors of the show, Mr. Gary Frog Talbert, councilman in Livingston Parish, and his words were, we got part of our parish that could probably start within another week or two. We got another half of the parish that's going to need a whole lot of time. So nothing is set in stone. We know that there's a lot of schools out there that are waiting on. We looked at the situation in Ascension Parish, and I believe there was no practice at all or games, which I think stands to reason. If you don't have the time to prepare and you're just thrown into the fire for a game, we could be asking for some trouble. But probably a wise decision there, so that everyone can focus on their families and get back in order.
Dutchtown had North Shore. I think Santa Maula had somebody down south. I'm not real sure who. EA had Zachary?
EA had Zachary, but Ascension Parish basically, along with East Baton Rouge Parish, said if you're not practicing, you can't play. I think that should have been left up to the schools, because some schools obviously are affected more. If you can play, let them go play. Dutchtown's in a situation where they didn't get to play in their jamboree.
Right.
They didn't get to play in their first week. So you think about their conditioning. That was one of the things that when I talked with Coach Sid Edwards and Andy Martin, in who we're going to feature tonight, the U-High Central game, that was one of their biggest concerns. Central didn't play in a jamboree. It was their first game. U-High, neither one of them had been on the practice field very much at all. So conditioning early in the year is basically due just to lack of practice is what they were biggest concerns. When you asked them what was their key to winning and their concerns, both of them right off the bat, was conditioning. And it wasn't because of what they did in the off season. It was because of lack of practice time with the storm and other things going on.
The Dunham Tigers were in good condition tonight as they pulled a good win, 28-14 over Parkview.
That's a good win for Neil Weiner. It's going to be interesting to see how good they are this year. But in the past, they've had some leads late in games against Parkview and hadn't been able to finish. And this one, they were. Coach LaFleurs does obviously a great job over at Parkview, but for Dunham to go over to Parkview, and again, that game wasn't decided until last night.
Didn't get power back, right?
Right,
late.
or they were going to play at 9 o'clock in the morning. So hats off to both teams. I honestly think tonight, Todd, and I think everybody will agree with me on this for the first time in my life, I think everybody was just happy to play tonight. If you were able to get on the field, I think that was the most important thing.
And I think North Louisiana and Southwest Louisiana definitely understands. North Louisiana probably not so much, as they're not used to some of these storms. But last year, I think Laura went through Shreveport in those areas and affected a little bit. But
you saw the damage not that long ago was the tornadoes at La Tech and all that. In that area certainly affected.
So, I think that that's going to be. Now we just have to dodge this other thing that's out there, that's pandemic that's out there. But it seems like everything's going smooth. Everybody's doing all the right things on the sideline. I'm sure they are in practices, and everything seems to be going really smooth with that, knock on wood.
Let's get caught up on some of the scores we have. Like we said, look, this is going to be a non-traditional week one of our Prep Scoreboard show. We have 3 regions we're going to feature tonight: the Capital City, Acadiana, and North Louisiana. And we will get you caught up on scores. We'll start first with those in the Capital City.
The Capital City Scoreboard, presented by Livingston Parish Councilman Gary Talbot.
All right, your capital area scores: U-High 39, Central 7, Dunham 28, Parkview Baptist 14, Zachary a winner over West Feliciana 56-6.
All right, your scores for the Acadiana area. Your scores for the Acadiana area. Acadiana edges out Karen Crow in a low-scoring affair, 9-7. Then Leesville beats the Jennings 28-8. Barr blows out LaGrange 56-18. West Monroe shuts out Sam Houston by a score of 53-0. St. Martinville takes down Cecilia 48-41. Madison Prep wins a thriller on a last-second field goal to take down St. Thomas More 38-35. And Sulphur defeats Pineville 21-13.
The North and Central Louisiana Scoreboard, presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic.
One more score to report: Sterlington 42, Loyola Prep 14. You know, guys, before we go to break,
Wait, what'd you say the score was over Union Parish? I didn't hear that.
Union Parish 42, Manny 32.
Gotcha.
Okay.
A lot of offense.
How about Madison Prep with the late field goal to beat St. Thomas More? Good win for Coach Williams. Absolutely.
Yeah, and the one point I wanted to make before we had to break is we talked about all the stuff that's going on here statewide, but you get a Barb score. You see some of these teams back. It's nice to see that because of what happened last year. Teams that dealt with some things that these schools are dealing with now, being able to get on the field. And like you were talking about, just being able to play. Yeah. And I'm sure they're feeling some gratefulness over there.
You know, we haven't had a chance. All coaches after last year obviously are used to dealing with COVID now, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of coaches are very familiar with dealing with hurricanes by now. But I don't know anybody other than the people in the Lake Charles area. Grand Lake played last year. Sulphur played last year. Really the only ones over in that area that played a full or as full a season as you possibly can. They had to deal with both of them. And sometime later in the show tonight, towards the back end of it, we'll try to have Chris Towery on from Sulphur High School, who dealt with both of them. And it's got to be a daunting task for every coach in the Southeast region.
We should have a lot of guests along with Chris Towery. We'll have Andy Martin, Robin Fambro, Ben Love. Let's see, who else? We got Eric Held, which we might have up next segment if he's available. And because we're kind of juggling things as we go here as well. So it's going to be a lot going on. Neville with the big late touchdown. You were about to say it?
Yeah. Neville down 17-7 and hadn't crossed midfield till late in the third quarter and comes back with a big win.
You know, last year they lost to Ruston in, I think, double overtime. And it was 4th and 25 or something, and they threw a Hail Mary, and Ruston.
Yeah, was that triple overtime game, I think it was?
So
little Steven Insminger on that staff over there at Ruston High School. I know his dad is over in California right now, listening to the show. He was texting earlier, so wish the Tigers a little good luck tomorrow. I bet Steve's a whole lot more relaxed over there this week than in the past.
You know, he was pulling for Neville, too.
Oh, yeah, I bet he was.
Lots to get to, as Coach Black just said. So we'll take a timeout. We'll be right back here on the Lake Urgent Care Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and Cox Sports Television.
Do you have or have you had COVID-19? Antibody screening or rapid molecular testing can tell you. Lake Urgent Care Lake After Hours offers both with results from molecular testing in minutes. Learn more at lakeurgentcare.com.
Make this summer your backyard party year with Chris's Specialty Foods. Wings, burgers, brisket, steak, and boudin, plus great Cajun side dishes. We do all the prep, and you enjoy laughing with friends and family. Chris's Specialty Foods, Millerville, New Orleans, Prairieville, and Frisco.
Everybody loves Chris's authentic Cajun meat.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law offices of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage
the Lake Urgent Care Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Welcome back to the Lake Urgent Care Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show. Cade Wazan, Todd Black, and Jimmy Roy will get you caught up on scores in the capital city, Acadiana, and North Louisiana portions of our scoreboard tonight. Of course, no scores tonight for our neighbors down in the New Orleans Bayou area or the North Shore. We hope we will be able to return those very soon. But tonight we're doing the focus on Baton Rouge, Acadiana, and North Louisiana. Joining us now He is the director of the Louisiana High School Coaches Association. Mr. Eric Held, still call him Coach. Coach Eric Held, thanks so much for joining us tonight.
Hey, Kate.
Coach.
Thanks for having me on. How are y'all?
We're pretty busy right now, but having a good time with it.
Eric, is this your second or third year in your position?
Third year.
So you've only had one so-called normal year?
Yep, 2019, year one.
Coach, let's get into this a little bit. We wanted to reach out to you today because you're over all the head coaches, not over them, but you're in constant contact with them. Give us a pulse of the South Louisiana, New Orleans, Bayou, North Shore areas, Livingston Parish. Basically what we're looking for is how many of those coaches have you talked to, how many can rebound, how many won't rebound and be able to play. What are you hearing so far? And I know it's early.
Sure. So it is early, and you want to be sensitive to what they're going through. Being a New Orleans native and living in the area for 33 years and living through it every hurricane season as a kid and growing up, and then as an adult and just going through it. So you kind of know what they're dealing with, and you're sensitive to what they're going through with their families. And it's a struggle in a lot of areas, as you know. Every school that is serviced by the Greater New Orleans Officials Association, 100% of them did not play this week. Hopefully you'll see those schools come back by week 3. You might see a few not make it back till week 4. There's a possibility next week, week 2, that you could see Brother Martin make the trip to play West Monroe. That's contingent on when school opens, if there's power, if there's water at the school, so that practice can take place. But Coach Bonice has been in touch with Coach Arledge at West Monroe and definitely wants to play that game. When you go further south through the river parishes and the Bayou region, of course, those were areas that were very hard hit. Coach Brandon Brown at East St. John, talked to him through text, and suffered some major damage at his home. And he's back with his wife's family in Mississippi. And his principal hopes to come up with a plan in the next couple days on when they can return. You hear stories like that all throughout those regions, and one thing that is positive, that's kind of optimistic, is that all of these coaches, no matter the damages that they suffered with at their schools or personally, or their coaches or their players, is that they're all optimistic on returning. And South Lafourche coach B.J. Young hopes to return week 4, and they had a lot of damage at their stadium. I don't know if they'll ever get their lights back for this season, and playing during the day on a Saturday is a possibility. So you're hearing kind of the same theme all throughout there. They want to get back and play. Some will be playing sooner than others, but I would say that the vast majority of these schools in the New Orleans area, on the North Shore, you'll probably see them back week 3, possibly week 4.
And one thing we talked about, you have to try to keep those kids together. Some of them do not have a house where they'll be able to come back to, but you got to keep your kids there to the best of your ability. Eric, how much of a do you, as the president of or the director of the LHSCA, assist with trying to help teams schedule? Because a lot of them are such late notice. You may not know until Wednesday night or Thursday that you may not get to play. And I have seen teams load up and go from one end of the state to the other and not know they're playing till Thursday and go play on Friday under circumstances like this.
Sure. So last year, of course, with COVID, it was a different situation where you may lose an opponent on a Wednesday, and I kept a database of who was available just through word of mouth and the internet, keeping track like that and helping coaches schedule and find games maybe on a Friday or Saturday last minute. This year it's a little different. As you know, if you lose a game due to COVID, it's a forfeit. So from having to try and scramble and help coaches find games, that's kind of out the window there. When it comes to this, they had coaches that reached out this week just asking if I knew who was open, and the coaches did a great job this week of hooking up. We ended up having a great game tonight between Madison Prep and St. Thomas More, both schools who lost an opponent due to the storm and ended up having an instant classic in week one.
We're here with the director of the LHSCA, Eric Held, on Louisiana Prep Scoreboard. Coach Held, I know that in New Orleans, and something you can, I guess, speak towards, is that so many of those schools do share stadiums. So if the problem is from a structure, we know New Orleans is dealing with a lot of power outage issues, some major structural issues to the power. If stadiums and lights are an issue, and now you're talking about you're kind of eliminating being able to play there and you're moving games to the day, how does that complicate things? Or teams, is there flexibility for teams to be able to play outside of the area more so, or maybe further west where we know that there's some availability or places they can use?
Yeah, so that's a great question, Cade. And one variable that a lot of people don't consider are the availability of the officials. In the last few years, the number of officials has dwindled, and with COVID last year, we lost a percentage in each of the different areas out there. I believe we have 10 officials associations across the state, and of course Lee Sanders from the LHSA office does a great job heading that up. And we lost a decent percentage of officials due to COVID. Some returned this year, but of course you're going to see fewer officials be able to work that are part of the Greater New Orleans Association, South Louisiana and the River Parishes, the Thibodeau Association, as well as Hammond and some in Baton Rouge as well. So that's a variable that a lot of people don't consider, being able to get officials to work games and have the flexibility of these schools that want to play on a Thursday now just to get officials, or a Saturday afternoon or a Saturday night now. But a lot of schools, you'll see them playing, I would say, on a Saturday afternoon. Wayne Stein, the first-year head coach at St. Charles Catholic, they lost their lights. And on Tuesday, speaking to him, he said, hey, we may end up playing some Friday afternoon games at 4 or having to play Saturday afternoon. So the flexibility in your schedule and with stadiums, as you mentioned, Kate, is a big factor in finding stadiums that have not only lights, and if those aren't available, stadiums that have power and running water, of course.
The good thing about the state, and I think other states as well, Eric, is usually 9 times out of 10, if not higher, coaches are willing to work with other coaches that are in need, meaning let them use their stadium. I think Grand Lake was going to Jennings last year to play their games. So, like you said, everybody's mindset is the same. They want to see all these kids play, and when that's going in all the same direction, that usually ends up in positive results.
Without a doubt, and as you guys know, the coaching community is a brotherhood, a very tight-knit community. You'll see coaches that compete against each other and lead their teams in intense rivalries, and sometimes, not get along too well in some circumstances. But when there's an adversity such as COVID, which we faced last year, we're still facing this year, and then, of course, the hurricanes last year, and then hurricane this year, it brings out the best in people. And we saw that last year, and we'll see it again this year, where coaches work together. You may have school B is expected to travel on paper to play at school A, and it ends up where this year School A will actually travel to B because they're able to play their game at the other site. So the coaches do a great job of working together, understanding the adversities that we have to face, and Southwest Louisiana was a great example of that last year. You mentioned Chris Towery, who's the head coach at Sulphur. They played day games last year. They were able to make their stadium available to schools as well who had stadium issues. You saw that all throughout Southwest Louisiana, and the hospitality that the coaches and athletic directors and principals, they roll out the red carpet for people, and the compassion that we have for each other in this industry is great.
Well, Eric, if there's anything we can do to help any of those schools or coaches scheduling or just getting back on their feet, please let us know, and we'll be there to do whatever we can do.
Sure, and I think you learn great lessons through sport, as we all know, and the tragedies that we saw last year with Southwest Louisiana with the two storms, and now with Hurricane Ida, and just working through COVID the last 2 years. It's brought the best out in people, and communities working together. You see intense rivalries out there on a Friday night, or all throughout the year, where you see district rivals in all the sports, and then communities working together to help each other out. It's really something that's great to see.
Well, Coach Held, we always appreciate your time. We look forward to talking with you again a little down the road this season.
You got it, guys. Great show as always, and keep up the great work.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
There you go. It's Coach Eric Held, the director of the LHSCA. We'll take a time out. When we get back, we'll update you on scores from the capital city, Acadiana, and North and Central Louisiana here on this Week 1 edition of the Lake Urgent Care Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and Cox Sports Television.
Do you have or have you had COVID-19? Antibody screening or rapid molecular testing can tell you. Lake Urgent Care Lake After Hours offers both with results from molecular testing in minutes. Learn more at lakeurgentcare.com.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Front to Back Boat Service has been family owned and operated for 30 years. And the Sherman family is NMEA certified. That's the National Marine Electronics Association at Front to Back. They are committed to improving the safety and technology of marine electronics through installer training, interface standards. And look, the fall and the winter, it's the perfect time to do that yearly maintenance you've been putting off. Get those parts you've been wanting. So schedule your appointment today at Front to Back, North Airway off of Airline Highway.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Yo, Jake here for Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic, the place that's going to be convenient for you during an inconvenient time. Look, you hear me talk about my 4 boys all the time, and sometimes things like stitches, well, they happen. And in fact, they have. And Patient Plus has always taken care of us, just like they'll do the same for you. And now with 7 convenient locations across the Baton Rouge area, open from 9 a.m. until 9 p.m., 7 days a week. And also at PatientPlusUC.com, you can sign up for your appointment on the way to the clinic. That's Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic. Get in and get better.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
During these challenging times, we know your healthcare needs don't stop. Cancer, accidents, injuries, and heart disease are relentless. So we are relentlessly innovating to keep you safe, both virtually and in person, connecting you with providers remotely, advancing clinical spaces, providing rapid and accurate testing, social distancing, and certified cleaning protocols. We are Auctioner, and we will not slow down. Auctioner Health, innovating healthcare.
The Lake Urgent Care, Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. The Capital City Scoreboard, presented by Livingston Parish Councilman Gary Talbot.
U-High over Central tonight, 39-7. Dunham beats Parkview, 28-14. Zachary over West Feliciana, 56-6. And Bruley over Port Allen, 23-12.
The Acadiana Scoreboard, backed by GMFS Mortgage.
Acadiana grabs a narrow victory over Karen Crow, 9-7. Little bit of a wacky score there. Leesville knocks off Jennings, 28-8. Barb over LaGrange, 56-18. West Monroe shuts out Sam Houston in a one-sided affair, 53-0. St. Martin over Cecilia, 48-41. Madison Prep with a game-winning field goal to knock off St. Thomas More, 38-35. And Sulphur beats Pineville 21-13, and Lafayette Christian with a 19-7 win over Westgate.
The North and Central Louisiana Scoreboard, presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic.
Neville over Ruston tonight, 27-24. Ouachita beats Airline, 20-3. Alexandria shuts out Faraday, 65-0. Mansfield over Evangel, 28-3. Sterlington over Loyola Prep, 42-14. General Trask beats Richwood, 54-20. Calvary Baptist over Logansport, 47-12. Union Parish beats Manny, 42-32. And Mangum over Oak Grove, 27-23.
All right, joining us on the GMFS hotline now is the head football coach of the U-High Cubs, Coach Andy Martin. They get the win tonight, 39-7 over Central, in what was featured as our game of the week. Coach Martin, thanks so much for joining us tonight. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you. Appreciate y'all having us.
You know, Jimmy, he's a little different as head coach. You know, approach him at halftime, and he's just got that look on his face. Don't come any closer than a fist bump. So I just, boom, got out of there. I was kind of scared of him.
Got his game face.
Yeah, he did.
That or he was scared to get COVID.
One of those. I don't know about all that. I don't know. I'm trying to lighten up a little bit. I think when I was DC, I was really intense. So we'll see. I don't know.
Coach, great start tonight. Get a key interception early in the first drive. Central had a nice little drive going, and you intercepted down around the 20. You hit a quick strike, 64-yard touchdown pass on the very first play. Looked like Graham coming out of the backfield on a rail route, and you get the ball right back and you hit a 47-yard touchdown pass. So a great start for U-High tonight.
No doubt. You know, the scrimmage, we played really hard. We're missing some pieces here and there. Obviously, against Catholic, it's a very good football team. We're missing a few pieces, but you know, for this game, we got some guys back, and Jaden was one of them. Jaden makes a big difference on defense. He's just so quick and sees things and can make a bunch of plays. And so it was very welcome to have him back. And we saw him in the backfield, you know, with a sack one time, made a big interception. Just getting him back and getting a few D linemen in just to be able to get a little rotation going helped out tremendously.
For the first game, defensively, sometimes it's tough to deal with shifts that the offense may give you. Coach Weiss and Central gave you some of those looks, but you seem like to handle it pretty good.
Yeah, our guys, that's a credit to our coaches. We know, I know Coach Weiss likes to do some of those things, so we talked to our guys about it, and we tried to rep it in the 2 days we had to get ready for them, and our defensive guys, they had them really prepared for that, and so that's definitely a credit to Coach Landry and all the defensive coaches that had them ready.
One thing we talked about this week, Todd, and we talked with Coach Martin and Coach Edwards about it, and both of them were saying the same thing. You're getting 2 days of practice. This goes back to what you're teaching your kids in the spring, all summer long, 2 a days, those things, and that you really have to trust your rules, trust your fundamentals. If this team lines up, this is how our base is going to line up against them. If the defense lines up these are the steps we're going to take to get to that guy. And it just comes in so important at this time, right, Coach?
No, there's no doubt. There's no doubt. Just the rules that you have, and you've got to trust the guys. Know it. Like tonight, of course, Coach Weiss wants to do something crazy. He has that spread formation, has guys all over the place. And, again, even on that, our guys handled it really well. There was no panic. There was just kind of move out where we're supposed to be. And, obviously we haven't covered a formation like that. But the rules start going in, and our guys did what they were supposed to do.
All right. Coach, you have a lot of superstar players or 4-star, 5 stars that everybody knows their name. But one guy that stands out to me when you watch U-High is your nose guard, Nick Williams. He's a 3-year starter now. He comes in as a 235-pound sophomore, now as a 300-pound guy that anchors your defense.
There's no doubt. Everything you want to build the middle of your defense to be strong, and Nick's the staple there. He's been there for 3 years and just does a good job of resetting that line of scrimmage and keeping guys off our linebackers to where linebackers can go make plays. If you can be strong in the middle, I think your defense can do really well, and he's the key to that.
I'm going to flip to the other side of the ball because I know you had a quarterback battle coming into this year, and in the first week, Abney looked really good. I mean, he did what you needed him to do. He good pass on the slant, good pass on the hitch, on the rail. He was injured late in the second quarter. How is he? And talk a little bit about his performance in the first 2 quarters.
I thought he did a great job. We don't need him to do a ton. Just be a good game manager. Get it out to our guys in space and let them do the job for you. And I think he did that all night long. He had the wind knocked out of him on that play. He sat in there and took a big hit and just barely missed on a long pass. But he came back in and did a drive in the second half also. So it was just the wind knocked out of him. He had to go off the field and came back on a little bit later in the game, and so he'll be fine. But Hudson came in also and did a good job. I think still right now, I don't know that I consider him to be just a true starter just yet. I think we can still have a little bit of a competition, but he definitely performed the way we need him to perform tonight.
Coach, overall, on such short notice, I know the biggest thing you said earlier in the week to me, you were just elated that Central called and y'all were able to get it together and play. Were you satisfied with everything tonight, or what are you looking for next week?
There's definitely some things we need to get better on, but I was just excited. We kept the penalties down. We looked sharp. We looked like, guys subbing in and out, kind of you're getting all those kinks out in the first couple games, and I felt like all that was really smooth tonight, and that's what I come excited about. Obviously we get a win, but our guys just looked good. We didn't have a bunch of penalties. Like I said, there were no substitution issues, and that's what you can build on. I was excited for our guys to go play a game too. Just to be out there. Last year you lose games because of COVID. Now you just don't want to lose games for these seniors. Trying to get them as many games as possible, and so I'm just glad that Coach Edwards was available and willing to play. So I thank them for just allowing our guys to get a game in.
Well, Coach, we appreciate it, and congratulations. Tell Coach Andrew Mayer to keep dialing up them plays on offense, and good luck the rest of the season.
Thank y'all so much. I appreciate everything y'all do for us.
All right,
thank you.
You heard Coach mention it there, and something you guys were talking about. Just glad to be able to play a game tonight.
And look, score wasn't close. Central scored right there at the end.
Turf field, by the way. First time I saw that.
39-7, I think it was the final. But Central got better tonight. They learned more about themselves with the way their schedule had set up non-district wise. This actually goes to Central's benefit of playing this game. I think they learned more about their team than if they would have played their regular 5-game schedule. And Coach Held was saying South Lafourche maybe back week 4 or 5. That's when I think Central plays them week 4 or 5 down there. So that maybe they could come up here if not. But honestly, if it gets reworked again and Central can pick up another quality opponent like that, that's something that Central needed. So it worked out good for both sides. And a decent crowd tonight. It wasn't bad.
Nope, not at all.
We'll take a timeout. We'll continue to update scores from the Acadiana area out there in North and Central Louisiana and a handful of games that were played tonight involving Baton Rouge area teams. Also looking forward to conversations with Ben Love from out in Acadiana, possibly connecting with Robin Fambro, who covers the Baton Rouge area, the Hall of Famer at that, and more coaches as well. This is the Week 1 edition of the Lake Urgent Care Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and Cox Sports Television.
Do you have or have you had COVID-19? Antibody screening or rapid molecular testing can tell you. Lake Urgent Care Lake After Hours offers both with results from molecular testing in minutes. Learn more at lakeurgentcare.com.
Make this summer your backyard party year with Chris's Specialty Foods. Wings, burgers, brisket, steak, and boudin, plus great Cajun side dishes. We do all the prep, and you enjoy laughing with friends and family. Chris's Specialty Foods, Millerville, New Orleans, Prairieville, and Frisco.
Everybody loves Chris's authentic Cajun meat.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Starting in 1974, Central Plumbing has served Baton Rouge and surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Through these tough and trying times, we want you to remember that the Payne family is here to continue to support and serve you. As a multi-generational business, there is no job that is too big or too small. Residential, commercial, industrial, hospitality, we're here for anything you need. 24/7, 365. Give us a call, 225-925-8552.
It's no secret, the best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
To the heroes who are working tirelessly to care for our communities, we thank you. We will never forget the countless hours you dedicated on the front lines, choosing to risk your own health to fight for our friends, neighbors, and family members.
I mean, you guys are out on the front lines, fighting it.
We are grateful for your heroic acts and unwavering spirit. Together, we are overcoming this adversity and make our state healthier and more vibrant again. Ochsner Health.
The Lake Urgent Care, Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. The Acadiana Scoreboard, backed by GMFS Mortgage.
Acadiana edges out Karen Crow by a score of 9-7. Leesville beats Jennings 28-8. Barb rolls over LaGrange 56-18. Lafayette Christian beats Westgate by a score of 19-7. West Monroe shuts out Sam Houston 53-0. St. Martinville takes down Cecilia 48-41. Madison Prep with a narrow victory over St. Thomas More 38-35. And Sulphur defeats Pineville 21-13.
All right, welcome back to the Week 1 edition of Lake Urgent Care, Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show. Cade Wazan, Todd Black, and Jimmy Roy, and we go to the GMFS hotline. We're joined by our Lafayette correspondent and the voice of the state champion, Karen Crow Bears. Ben Love joins us now. Ben, thanks so much for spending a couple of minutes with us. A tough one for the Bears, but this seems like a classic baseball score between these two.
CV, coaches, good to talk with y'all. I'll tell you this. In Scott tonight, there was a 20% chance of rain. At about 6:35 or 6:40 p.m., the heavens opened up, and it was a monsoon for about 25 straight minutes leading into that game. And I think it changed the complexion of everything. And it wasn't, one side or the other, but just the conditions were different after that. Karen Crow had center quarterback exchange issues all night. Acadiana put it on the deck. It was a sloppy game. It was a sloppy Week 1 game, a very physical Week 1 game, and ultimately a block punt by Walter Bobb, an Alabama commit along Acadiana's defensive line. A block punt that went for a safety was the difference in the game.
Ben, is there any concern for the Acadiana offense having scored 7 points last week in the Jamboree and 7 points tonight, or is Karen Crow defense that good, or a combination, and also throw in the field conditions?
I think it's probably a combination, Coach. I'll tell you this. Karen Crow's front seven was magnificent tonight. I mean, they were good. Now, at the same time, I think Acadiana just kind of goes rinse, wash, repeat with their running backs. As much as they like their quarterback, a sophomore named Aiden Trahan, I think he's still got plenty of development to do. He's a young kid. He functions the offense fairly well, but he threw 2 passes tonight. One of them was intercepted. There were a couple of fumbles, probably a bad decision here or there in terms of whether to pitch or not pitch on an option. So I think Acadiana's offense may not be where it's been the last 2 years, but again, it's Week 1. As far as their offensive line, they're still as physical as ever.
Jimmy, that's a huge pair of shoes to fill for a 10th grader to come in and be the quarterback at probably the best team in the state over the past 5 or 6 years.
And it's going to be interesting to see if they do not down the road move Jeremiah Brown back to quarterback. The quarterback's return, they just moved him back to safety because that's where he's going to be a D1 recruit. So that'll be something to keep an eye on as we go. Ben, before we let you go real quick, do you have anything on Madison Prep St. Thomas More? That's kind of a shocker for Madison Prep to come away with a field goal win at the end of the game.
It was a game that I know St. Thomas More led 28-14. Madison Prep came back systematically. Like you mentioned, won with a field goal, 6 seconds to go. About the only other thing I can tell you is there were a minimum of 3 or 4 obvious drop balls by St. Thomas More wide receivers. And the way it was put to me by somebody there, Walker Howard was bouncing BBs off of people's chests toward the end of that ball game. So I think that maybe it was a little more than Jack Besh, probably Carter Arsenault, and a few others that this team may miss from a year ago. That rapport is still building, but there's no doubt that Walker Howard is, he's the best in the state, maybe the best in the country.
Right. You're replacing, everybody thinks the best, but Domain and Arsenault both were, those 3 were a heck of a receiving group for high school.
And he's got to maintain confidence in those guys because that's all he's got. He cannot try to fit it in there, put it softer, change anything he's doing. He's just got to be him.
Play his game. Well, Ben, we appreciate it. We're fixing to go to a break real quick, but hopefully we'll see you next week and go catch some fish this weekend.
I appreciate it. You guys stay safe.
All right.
Guys, another score Ben was talking about last week, and it's a team we've kept an eye on for a while in Westgate. Not surprised that Lafayette Christian gets the win there, but maybe more so that Westgate was only able to put up a touchdown.
Well, Westgate's defense is as good as it. I mean,
Lafayette
Christian's defense is as good as it gets. Now remember, last week they didn't play without their 3-1 signees. Brylan Green, he's still out to free safety, but they were supposed to get Fitzgerald West back from LSU. This LSU commit, and Jordan Allen, who's a big-time commit too. So them getting those back at Westgate, against Westgate, really helped them. Westgate has a 5-star safety themselves in Derek Williams. Lafayette Christian, though, offensively has struggled the last couple of years. They're not. Their defense is what's won ball games for them. Heck, they won 4 states, 4 or 5.
Four going on 5. St. Charles
year.
did a great job against them in the state championship. Just weren't able to mount much offensively.
Yeah, and before we go to break, real quick, a big win last night. Bro Bridge over New Iberia, 28-6. Hank Lateef over there, new first year at Bro Bridge, so that's a good win for him.
Lots more still to come. Correspondents and victorious head coaches from week 1 action here in the state. And that's coming your way from Acadiana Scores, Capital City Scores, and North Louisiana in hour 2, coming up next.
Do you have or have you had COVID-19? Antibody screening or rapid molecular testing can tell you. Lake Urgent Care Lake After Hours offers both with results from molecular testing in minutes. Learn more at lakeurgentcare.com.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law office of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
Front to Back Boat Service has been family owned and operated for 30 years. And the Sherman family is NMEA certified. That's the National Marine Electronics Association at Front to Back. They are committed to improving the safety and technology of marine electronics through installer training, interface standards. And look, the fall and the winter, it's the perfect time to do that yearly maintenance you've been putting off. Get those parts you've been wanting. So schedule your appointment today at Front to Back North Airway off of Airline Highway.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. this isn't just more convenient care.
The Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show, presented by Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. From the Jamborees to the Superdome, your source for the most up-to-date scores and stats is right here. Now, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, here's Todd Black, Jimmy Roy, and Cade Wazan.
Welcome to Hour 2 of the Week 1 edition of the Lake Urgent Care Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show. I'm Cade Wazan, Coach Todd Black, Coach Jimmy Roy. Ryan Kennedy producing the program. For our audio side, visually, it's Taylor Sharp, and we got Charlie, we got Will helping out on the back end, and Skip is on assignment tonight. He'll return next week. Coming up this hour, Sulphur head football coach Chris Towery, as well as Jeff Tannehill from over at Neville. We look forward to speaking with them, and very shortly we'll get in touch with the Hall of Famer Robin Fambro. Let's go ahead and get you caught up on scores. Tonight, obviously, is a modified scoreboard with many games not being played, many teams. Our thoughts and prayers with the Bayou region, New Orleans, North Shore, Livingston, a lot of teams not able to play tonight, as you, I'm sure, understand. So we'll start first, getting you caught up on a couple of games played with teams from the Baton Rouge area.
The Capital City Scoreboard, presented by Livingston Parish Councilman Gary Talbot.
Your Baton Rouge Scoreboard, U High over Central tonight, 39-7. Dunham beats Parkview, 28-14. Zachary over West Feliciana, 56-6. And Bruley over Port Allen, 23-12.
The Acadiana Scoreboard, backed by GMFS Mortgage.
Starting out with your Acadiana scores, Acadiana edges out Karen Crow by a score of 9-7. Leesville beats Jennings 28-8. Barb over LaGrange 56-18. Lafayette Christian beats Westgate by a score of 19-7. West Monroe shuts out Sam Houston, big score 53-0. St. Martinville edges out Cecilia 48-41. Madison Prep beats St. Thomas More in a tight one 38-35. And Sulphur takes down Pineville 21-13.
The North and Central Louisiana Scoreboard, presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic.
Neville over Ruston tonight, 27-24. Ouachita beats Airline 20-3. Alexandria shuts out Faraday 65-0. Mansfield over Evangel 28-3. Sterlington beats Loyola Prep 42-14. General Trask over Richwood 54-20. Calvary Baptist over Logansport 47-12. Union Parish beats Manny 42-32. And Mangum over Oak Grove 27-23.
Thank you, Ryan and Taylor, getting our scores, but behind the scenes, as we mentioned, Charlie and Will doing the data entry tonight remotely, and we appreciate all their help. We appreciate everyone tuning in. A final Westside beat Lakewood 44-10 for those listening for that final. We go to the GMFS Mortgage Hotline in just a minute, and we'll be catching up with LHSAA, or Louisiana Sports Hall of Famer Robin Fambro here in just a minute.
Good opportunity to thank BSN Sports.
They have outfitted us once again, and they have outdone themselves. BSNsports.com is the website. Scott Nielsen is the guy to contact. And when you think about not just the clothing, but the equipment as well, and it's a company with some national reach, plenty of the brands you know and love, but with local focus, as you can get your team outfitted. So I appreciate every year the partnership with our friends at BSN Sports, the best supply network in sports. And I believe we have connected with Robin Fambro, so let's go ahead and jump on the hotline. Robin, thanks so much for joining us tonight. I hope you and your family are staying safe.
Yes, I can actually report a huge development. I came home to power tonight.
Oh,
fantastic!
We talked
Breaking news.
We talked to Robin.
I am sitting in the driveway, and it's fabulous.
Well, you need to get inside.
Oh, I will in a few minutes after I talk to you guys.
And we talked to Robin, Todd, and I did in the parking lot before the Central U-High game. She was covering it also, and she was just saying, just hoping any day. So that is a nice way to walk on city street lights when you turn down in the subdivision or something. You know?
Absolutely.
Robin, what did you think about tonight's game?
Well, I think U-High showed some things that you didn't see last week because, of course, Jaden Osbury was one of several players who was out with injury, and they had their full complement of guys back. Put a lot of things together, and then, most teams make a quantum leap between sometimes the Jamboree and game one. You guys are coaches. You know that there's not always a correlation between scrimmages and Jamborees and what happens once the season starts.
Right. And another addition that we haven't mentioned was Jackson Forbes, a defensive lineman. And like Coach Andy Martin was saying earlier, those guys allow Jaden and the linebacking corps to make
and
plays.
He talked about they actually had enough depth to run guys in and out, which kept them fresh. And, they've kind of been in a rhythm where obviously Central has not with everything that's gone on. They missed last week with the Jamboree. You had Brandon O'Neal's death. There were just, there have been different things for them this year.
It's been very emotional roller coaster for Central. They've went through COVID issues. They went through a coach's death. They've went through a suspension for a fight. The hurricane. It's just been a roller coaster ride for Central.
And guys, even though 39-7, their offense, I think, and Ken Hilton's going to be fine defensively. I just think he's that good of a coach. And Aaron Weiss offensively has a lot of positive to talk about because, their running back Cage was really a workhorse in between the tackles and did a really good job.
And Central
he made a few nice plays outside, too.
Central only returns one defensive back. And so, they're young. But, Robin, what are your thoughts, having talked with the other coaches throughout the parish? East Baton Rouge Parish come out as a whole and said nobody in East Baton Rouge Parish can play.
Well, it was East Baton Rouge Parish. It was Ascension.
Right.
You didn't have anybody in Livingston play this week either.
Right.
So, by the way, big win by Madison Prep, I just found out.
Huge, yeah.
But, I thought it was the right call for them. And, I know what all the naysayers said, and Lynn Williamson took a lot of heat for that. EBR did. But when you don't know what you have at your facilities, you don't know if your kids can get there to practice. You're not in school. If you're in school, it's a different, or even if you're going to be in school, say 3 days of the week, it's a different story than what they had going on this week because you had a lot of kids that I'm sure their houses were damaged. Right. You may have had some that evacuated to other areas. I don't know. It's tough, but by the same token, I was okay with the decision because, it would have been nice to play, but there's a lot more important things going on right now for folks.
And I can tell you from a coach's perspective, having been through it at Redemptorist with Hurricane Katrina, the first thing you're doing as a coach is Guy Mastretta was very organized with it. He got in touch with all the coaches. You get in touch with your position groups. You stay in contact with them. Find out who doesn't have power. Who doesn't have food?
Who doesn't have food?
Who's working in the yard all day long in the heat, not having anything to drink, and then coming to a football practice?
Right.
Those things like that are also other concerns that you have to worry about as a coach. I know Central, when I talked to Coach Edwards this week or yesterday, he still had over 20-something players that didn't have electricity. He was going to try to get them to sleep at the school, have some coaches stay up there with them, and make sure they got a nice meal. So there's more to it than just thinking, oh, you can play no matter what. But
and by the way, I also agree with you guys that, they're going to be fine in the long run. I think Ken's a very good coach. I think there were positives on offense. And, their quantum leap is going to come a little bit further down the line just because they didn't have the Jamboree and some other things.
Right.
So let me ask you, next week we got a good one here. Acadiana squeaked by Karen Crow 9-7, and they're going to come play Catholic, who had a big win as well.
Yeah, that's a showcase game, no question about it. A showcase game, and it's going to be interesting. You know, I mean, they played last year, and it's going to be somewhat contrasting styles. Big signature win, I think, for the new coaching staff at Catholic. And, you know, I just think it's a hell of a matchup. There's a lot of ability on both sides, different approaches. You know, and the thing about it is, week 2, they're playing the kind of team they need to play because they're each other because they know they might face somebody else like that later in the year, but chances are they may not face anybody who's better.
I mean, that's the exact reason I think Catholic High scheduled Acadiana, because they know they may see John Curtis down the road in the playoffs, and they will not see Acadiana. So it's a smart scheduling move on Catholic High's part. Play them every year. Play them every year.
Well, we're super happy that you have power, and we want you to enjoy it. So don't let us hold you any longer, for sure.
I plan to. We're good, and thank you guys for what you do. And you know, maybe we can make this a weekly thing. Hopefully, I'll have a better. I need to make a quantum leap next week too, so it's going to be interesting. But hopefully, computer issues will not be an issue next week.
It's been difficult for y'all to do y'all's jobs. I know that because we started researching earlier in the week, and I'm just like, man, there's not a whole lot out here. They're getting some things, and then I'm thinking, you know, they're going through some difficulties with their homes and their internets and things like that. So we fully understand it's been a tough week on everyone.
Well, and then the other thing that goes into it too, you know, this week is going to be interesting also because there are a lot of rumors about, hey, some of the New Orleans schools are going to get power, or this one might have that. So you're still going to have some teams, and I've already heard about it in the peripheral. We'll see if there's any actual truth to it, that they're already kind of matching up with each other, saying, hey, you won't have so-and-so and I won't have so-and-so. Right. You know, so you're going to have some of those kind of matchups again.
Well, Robin, we always appreciate your time. We look forward to speaking with you again throughout the season.
Take care.
Miss Robin Fambro.
Mm-hmm.
The legend.
She's usually doing 2, 3, 4 games a night.
Tonight, maybe she was able to just kind of enjoy that one and get back to the power. And she mentioned, it's a good point, that's a measuring stick situation. Because we looked at Karen Crow and Acadiana, 2 similar styles. And it's probably why you see a 9-7 game, because we talk about so much how many teams can really replicate the Veer. Well, the Karen Crow can at least have an idea going into that. It's different when you face the monster that is Acadiana. But if you're Acadiana and you see Catholic, and you're Catholic and you see Acadiana, she's exactly right. It's an idea to go, where are we? How do we stack up? You can use that later on to measure yourself as you get into the postseason.
They run the same offense, same defense.
They have Karen Crow has Acadiana ties.
Right. Coach Corville came from there. So, but I think that the big thing for Acadiana, looking at them scoring 7 points tonight, or 9, or offensively 7, they got a block punt by Bob on the other one, and but only scoring 7 against Notre Dame also in the Jamboree. So they're not clicking on offense, and with a new starting quarterback, that's going to take time to develop as the season goes on. They better get some things fixed before next week, because Catholic High's defense is pretty daggum good.
He is Jimmy Roy, along with Todd Black, Cade Wazan here. When we get back, we'll look forward to another conversation with a couple of victorious head football coaches, Coach Jeff Tannehill from Neville and Coach Chris Towery from Sulphur. That's all coming up next here in this Week 1 edition of the Lake Urgent Care, Lake After Hours, Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, and Cox Sports Television.
Do you have or have you had COVID-19? Antibody screening or rapid molecular testing can tell you. Lake Urgent Care Lake After Hours offers both with results from molecular testing in minutes. Learn more at lakeurgentcare.com.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Yo, Jake here for Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic, the place that's going to be convenient for you during an inconvenient time. Look, you hear me talk about my 4 boys all the time, and sometimes things like stitches, well, they happen. And in fact, they have. And Patient Plus is always taking care of us, just like they'll do the same for you. And now with 7 convenient locations across the Baton Rouge area, open from 9 a.m. until 9 p.m., 7 days a week. And also at PatientPlusUC.com, you can sign up for your appointment on the way to the clinic. That's Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic. Get in and get better.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Starting in 1974, Central Plumbing has served Baton Rouge and surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Through these tough and trying times, we want you to remember that the Payne family is here to continue to support and serve you. As a multi-generational business, there is no job that is too big or too small. Residential, commercial, industrial, hospitality, we're here for anything you need. 24/7, 365. Give us a call, 225-925-8552.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
The Lake Urgent Care, Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Welcome back to the Week 1 edition of the Lake Urgent Care, Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show. Cade Wazan, Todd Black, and Jimmy Roy. And we jump back on the GMFS Mortgage Hotline, and we are joined by Neville head football coach Jeff Tannehill. The Tigers get a win tonight over Ruston, 27-24. Coach, congratulations on the win. Thanks so much for joining us tonight.
Thank y'all for having me, and it's good. Well, it's echoing a little bit, but getting a win tonight over a really good team like Ruston is something special because we got beat 3 overtimes last year, and I just can't say enough about the effort from our kids.
Coach, tell us a little bit about how this game changed, because I was reading on Twitter, and I told Todd it was late in the third quarter. I think it was 17-7, and you'd crossed midfield for the first time or something, it said. How did it change?
Yeah. Well, Ruston had the ball pretty much the first half. I mean, they had about 15-play drive, kicked a field goal with about 4 minutes left in the first quarter. And we came out. We got about a 5-play drive and punted. They got it and brought it right back down. And, let me take this back. When they kicked off after the touchdown, we ran it back for a touchdown. So it was 7-3 us, and then they scored 2 more touchdowns before half. They just ran it down our throat, basically.
Did that touchdown hurt? Did that special teams touchdown hurt you defensively because they had to get right back on the field?
It did, Todd. It sure did. Our defense played a lot of snaps tonight, but the second half, I really thought they toughened up, especially in the fourth quarter, and held them on a few 4th and 1. It's big for us.
So let me ask you this: that last drive, y'all went down. Y'all were up 20-17. They go up 24-20. Tell us a little bit about that drive, if you can remember.
Well, A.J. Allen is our tailback, and he's a special player. He returned the kickoff for a touchdown. He had a 70-yard touchdown run. He's a special player, and he was electric tonight. And we put him in the slot. I don't know. We went empty, but we had a tight end in there, and so we max protected, ran him across the field. It was 4th and I think it was 4th and 18, and he got over the top of the free safety, and Brett threw a nice ball right in the basket, and he just outran him, broke 2 tackles to get in the end zone.
Jimmy, that's what you're supposed to do, right? Get the ball in the hands of your best athlete.
That's right. I mean, and look, Neville has some stud athletes up there. You have Will Campbell, obviously the #1 recruit offensive line in the state, going to LSU. AJ, who he mentioned, going to TCU. We've been calling that name out for 3 years now. It's a name that we know. Got a Brett Batterford back as a quarterback. It's his show to run. You got the big sledge guy as a defensive tackle at Baylor. So Neville's going to be there. There's no doubt about it. But I know Todd Black was pacing this hall when we saw 17-7.
Well, I tell you, their offensive line is as good an offensive line as we'll play this year. Ain't no doubt about it. And they got a big tailback and a big fullback, and they control the ball the whole first half and a lot of the second half. Honestly, we had a couple big plays when we scored, and we didn't have many long drives, but it was it was exciting. It's a Neville Rustin game, and it don't get any better than that up here in this part of the country. And I was just proud of our kids for not quitting, not giving up, and I can't say enough about Coach Collins and our defense in that fourth quarter.
Turnabout is fair play, I guess, since last year's was tough, and then this year you came right back with a little bit more of a chip on your shoulder and pulled off the win 27-24. Jeff, we appreciate you joining us, telling us a little bit about the game. Go Tigers, and we look forward to hearing from you soon.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate y'all.
It wasn't a Go Tigers. I said redneck Go Tigers.
Coach Tannehill's doing a good job.
A little bit of no peep stew with that.
That's right. That's right.
Look forward to our next conversation. Ryan, let me know when we've got we're good. Okay. We'll go ahead and advance to our second guest of this segment, also a Victorious head coach, coming to us from the Catholic High Bears, from the land of crab cakes and football. David Semino getting the win tonight for Catholic High. Hey, that's what they're known for, right? Coach Semino, you got any crab cakes?
No, man, and the crab cake.
But you got a W. That's good.
That's right.
Indeed.
Coach Semino, take us, first off, congratulations on your first win at Catholic High. That's a good one to go get. But take us into the build-up to this, the logistics of getting a high school team from Catholic High to Maryland. Did y'all contact LSU to see how they do it, or what was the steps?
Man, we actually contracted a company that kind of is a logistical company that does this a lot for teams across the nation, high school teams across the nation, and so they handle a lot of the nitty-gritty of everything, and that ended up being a really good deal for us.
Coach, before we get into some of your players in the game, coming in as a new coach, you got to make some new staff hires, obviously, and you hit a grand slam with Devin Ducote, being able to get him back as your defensive coordinator.
Man, yeah, absolutely. we just came in and tried to build some relationships, and Devin was a guy, and Zach Morris, our offensive coordinator. I mean, those guys are guys that I've got a lot of history with, and we're able to hire them on, and those guys have just done an awesome job. Devin's defense tonight, man, they're just flying around, and we put them in some tough situations. We went over there, and we weren't going to leave any calls in the bag. And y'all know me. We did a few things on special teams early, and one of them didn't work out. Fake punt, put them in a tough situation, but they held them down inside the red zone a couple of times. And Devin's a guy that's just brought a different element to everything that we do, and he's involved in everything. And we're blessed to have him, man.
What was your biggest concern making a trip this big? Your first time, I guess, probably in a lot of coaches' career, but especially with yours and your team. What was your biggest concern?
How much time you got? It was a tough situation. I mean, particularly with the hurricane, 75% of our kids, are still trying to get the power back and all that good stuff. Of course, everybody fought that this week, but the people in Maryland didn't, So anyway, getting the guys on the plane and all that stuff, and then parents traveled with us on the plane and same hotel and all that stuff. So I've learned a lot in this first out of town experience in terms of getting on a plane and all that type of stuff that we could probably do a little bit better. But really proud of the way our guys weathered the storm and got to show them the sights of DC and everything. It was awesome.
Coach Semino, we got to listen to a little bit of it coming back from Central U High game. It sounded like y'all were able to share the wealth offensively. A lot of different people got to touch the football and score for you. Talk a little bit about the actual game tonight.
Well, the offensive line took over, man, just dominated. We're a physical football team, and the kids have really bought into that. We have a stable of running backs, three kids that towed it tonight. I think we had four guys that scored rushing touchdowns. We had a quarterback sneak with the sophomore Daniel Beal first, and then Corey Singleton had a couple. Tay Nicholas had one, and I think Barry Remo, our young sophomore, had one too. So we were able to establish the ground game and did a great job with that. And then again, defense just, man, lights out, flying around. They had a big physical 6'5", 235-pound quarterback that they tried to get going and really couldn't. So it was a fun night, man.
Todd, one thing, Catholic High they were a physical team last year, right? They like to run power, they like to run the duo stuff, but I think what you're going to see, one thing, you're going to see them get even more physical because they're going to take on David's personality as a coach. And he's going to require that, and they're going to start feeding off of that, and they're even going to get more physical, and they have the guys to do that.
Well, I know you got a good line coach, David. I know you were a big part of Catholic Point Capiz success up front. So are you able to stay away from that offensive line area, or are you down there getting with them?
I'm learning that I got to delegate with all these bodies I got, and me and Matt Shelton, our offensive line coach that you're talking about. I mean, I told him today we were riding on the bus to the game. I said, Matt, we competed for the first time together on the same team in 1998. That's 23 years ago, So to have a guy like that knows what I'm about and I know what he's about, and then he's a guy that's become a professor of offensive line play, basically, So to have him on staff is incredible, So that's been awesome.
Well, Coach, we certainly appreciate your time tonight. We congratulate you on the win. I know next week another test awaits, and for your defense, we look forward to that matchup as well. So safe travels on your way back to Baton Rouge. Look forward to talking to you again real soon.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
There he is, Catholic head football coach David Semino, picking up the win, as you mentioned, the logistics of all that, but getting that win and now coming home, turning around to face Acadiana.
That's something that, we always talk about it as high school coaches. You try to prepare for everything, and things creep up on you that you're just not prepared for. Preparing to go to Maryland is not something that a high school coach does very often.
I don't know.
So it's something new for him.
When he said parents and the players
On the
rode
bus?
on the same
Oh,
plane.
same plane.
I'm kind of reading in between the lines, thinking maybe, that probably wasn't the best of ideas, just because.
Well, he said he's learned some things. So.
But, Cade, what Jimmy talks about is when you have a intense coach like David is, and he gets involved in, it's just like Jimmy said, it couldn't have said it any better. They take on his personality because he's not a guy that doesn't quit. He's a guy that's intense. He's a guy that only accepts one result, and that's winning. He understands you're going to get beat, but you got to get your butt back up, and next time you win that battle.
He's going to demand it.
Yeah, he will. And, that's going to make a huge difference. Sometimes things happen for a reason, and Catholic High has got a really good one that'll probably stick around for a while.
And I'm not saying by any means to take away from the last staff, because they ran the football a whole lot more than people think. They thought they were this wide open spread offense, and really they didn't do a whole lot. They love power and they love duo and that type of stuff. So they ran the football before, but David's personality is different than Gabe's, and so they're going to take on some of that personality, and you're going to see them willing to fight. It's going to be fun to watch.
That second possession of the game, Cade, is they went too tight, and they were just like, boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
Well, that fight will continue next week with a big one against Acadiana. I believe we're looking forward to our conversation with Chris Towery when we come back.
Correct.
So Sulphurite coach Chris Towery set to join us. We'll also update you on the scores from Acadiana, North and Central Louisiana, and right here in Baton Rouge. This is the Week 1 edition of the Lake Urgent Care Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and Cox Sports Television.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Make this summer your backyard party year with Chris's Specialty Foods. Wings, burgers, brisket, steak, and boudin, plus great Cajun side dishes. We do all the prep, and you enjoy laughing with friends and family. Chris's Specialty Foods, Millerville, New Orleans, Prairieville, and Frisco.
Everybody loves Chris's authentic Cajun meat.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
During these challenging times, we know your healthcare needs don't stop. Cancer, accidents, injuries, and heart disease are relentless. So we are relentlessly innovating to keep you safe, both virtually and in person, connecting you with providers remotely, advancing clinical spaces, providing rapid and accurate testing, social distancing, and certified cleaning protocols. We are Auctioner, and we will not slow down. Auctioner Health, innovating healthcare.
If home is where the heart is, a roof is a shield. That's why for over 25 years, South Louisiana always turns to Garcia Roofing and Sheet Metal. For more information, visit garciadidmyroof.com.
To the heroes who are working tirelessly to care for our communities, we thank you. We will never forget the countless hours you dedicated on the front lines, choosing to risk your own health to fight for our friends, neighbors, and family members.
I mean, you guys are out on the front lines fighting it.
We are grateful for your heroic acts and unwavering spirit. Together, we are overcoming this adversity and make our state healthier and more vibrant again. Auctioner Health.
Front to Back Boat Service has been family owned and operated for 30 years. And the Sherman family is NMEA certified. That's the National Marine Electronics Association at Front to Back. They're
the Lake Urgent Care, Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Welcome back to the Week 1 edition of the Lake Urgent Care, Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show. Cade Wazan, Todd Black, and Jimmy Roy. We'll get you caught up on scores here in just a second. Tell you what, let's do scores now. We'll have Coach Chris Towery from Sulphur join us in just a second. We're going to get you caught up from out in the north and central Louisiana areas as well as Acadiana. But we'll start first with scores from the capital city.
The Capital City Scoreboard, presented by Livingston Parish Councilman Gary Talbot.
U-High over Central tonight, 39-7. Dunham beat Parkview, 28-14. Zachary over West Feliciana, 56-6. And Bruley over Port Allen, 23-12.
The Acadiana Scoreboard, backed by GMFS Mortgage.
Acadiana narrowly defeats Karen Crow 9-7. Leesville takes out Jennings 28-8. Bob rolls over LaGrange 56-18. West Monroe with a 53-0 shutout victory over Sam Houston. St. Martinville defeats Cecilia 48-41.
Hey man, you got a few minutes.
Madison Prep with a narrow victory over St. Thomas More 38-35 thanks to a last-second field goal. Sulphur over Pineville 21-13. And Lafayette Christian beats Westgate 19-7.
The North and Central Louisiana Scoreboard, presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic.
Neville over Ruston tonight, 27-24. Ouachita beats Airline 20-3. Alexandria shuts out Faraday 65-0. Mansfield over Evangel 28-3. Sterlington beats Loyola Prep 42-14. General Trask over Richwood 54-20. Calvary Baptist over Logansport 47-12. Union Parish gets by Manny 42-32. And Mangum over Oak Grove 27-23.
Thanks so much to Ryan Kennedy producing our audio tonight, to Taylor Sharp on the video side of things. If you're watching on our 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel or on Cox Sports Television, they're the ones making all that happen. Let's go ahead and jump back on the GMFS Mortgage Hotline. And we join another victorious head coach coming to us from Sulphur High School, Coach Chris Towery. Coach, thanks so much for joining us for a couple of minutes tonight. I'm sure it was real good to get back on the football field.
Oh, it was awesome. It was a great night.
Coach, congratulations on the win. Before we talk a little bit about this game, one of the reasons we wanted to bring you on is just your experiences that you went through last year. A lot of coaches now have had to deal with the COVID issue, or all coaches have. Coaches in the past have had to deal with the hurricane issues, but never before have we had to deal with both. You were one of them, the only 5A school in that area who was able to play last year. Talk about a little bit of what the people can expect and just your advice to them and what's priority and what's not.
Well, the biggest priority is making sure that your kids are taken care of and that you're flexible as a coach to make adjustments to your program where you can, do things to fit the situation, because every day is a different day when you're dealing with hurricanes and COVID. You have to be flexible. You have to be adjustable with your practice schedules. You have to be adjustable with your kids because you don't know what they're going home to at night. You just have to be adjustable and do the best you can for them.
Really, the priority is not football anymore. It's about your communities, and it's about the safety of the kids, and the other is kind of a release. And I don't think if a kid has to miss practice, he has to miss practice. I don't think it's something that you can hold against those kids at certain times. I think you're bringing up some good points with it.
Sometimes, Chris, isn't it almost beneficial, though, to get those kids on the field so they can get their mind and off of all that negativity and get focused on something they enjoy?
There's no doubt. There's no doubt getting them on the field is important to them. Last year, when we first started practicing, we couldn't even go in our building. It was condemned at that time. So our kids had their gear in big travel bags that they would take home with them, and they literally showed up at practice every day like a Little League practice or like a rec league practice with their gear, got dressed. But, they enjoyed the heck out of it, and it was time off from cutting down trees and fixing houses, going without power and all those things. And so practice was always an enjoyment for those guys.
Well, Coach, 21-13 winner tonight over Pineville. Tell us about your team. I know you're very, very young with only 9 seniors in a 5A program. We are young. I thought our kids played hard tonight. We got up 21-6 midway through the third quarter and just kind of tried to grind our way out of it a little bit. And Pineville made some plays at the end. They were bigger and stronger and faster than us, as most people are going to be. And I can't say enough about our kids and how they just kind of kept hacking away at it and made sure that they hung on for the win.
Coach, when you have a team where you have a lot of young players or guys who just maybe haven't had as much experience, how important is a week 1 win? Does it maybe have a little more weight to it?
It's definitely important. I mean, the psychology of winning over the psychology of losing, especially for young guys. They're going out there every day. They're working hard. They're doing things to try to prepare themselves to win. And until they get in that environment where they can actually win a football game and see the fruits of their labor, they don't know what it's really all about. So getting that week 1 win is huge.
Who are some of your key players, Coach Dowry?
Well, Tag Skelly had a heck of a night tonight. Had a nice touchdown catch in the 2-minute drill. We went down and scored right before the half with less than 2 minutes left with no timeout. Drove it about 70 yards, and he ended up having a touchdown catch for the score right there before half. Our quarterback, Gage Trahan, had a pretty good night at quarterback. Defensively, we had several guys that really made some plays. Peyton Lemaire in the secondary. Keegan Trim on the D-line. We had some guys step, but both of our backers played really well tonight. So it was a good night overall. Great team win.
So offensively, Coach, are you kind of trying to mix the run in with the pass, or since you're young, you kind of maybe take it a little bit slower for them?
Oh, no, we're about as multiple as you could possibly be. I mean, we try to be balanced. We get in a lot of personnel groups. We've got a couple of big tight ends.
Mm-hmm.
2 6'5" tight ends, so we get in some 12 personnel. We jumped in it a lot tonight. We're an 11 personnel based team. We're just going to kind of take what the defense gives us. We're an RPO heavy team. One of the things Pineville did tonight, because we had really thrown the glance RPOs a lot over the last couple of weeks between the scrimmage and the jamboree. They played a lot of quarters, but their safeties really weren't fitting in the run game very much. So we had a lot of light boxes tonight and handed the ball off, and I thought we ran the ball really well tonight.
Well, Coach, congratulations on it. I'm just thinking about Sulphur and Central need to play each other. They're 2 very similar communities. It'd be a good home and home, good gate attendance for both of them. And it gives us an opportunity to go see them.
Sounds like Mr. Central High is trying to promote something here, Coach.
No, I am. Those are they're 2 very similar communities. They really are.
Jimmy, I got a text message from a Central High coach today about that possibility. So we'll.
Oh, really?
We'll see where that goes later on.
That'd be nice. That'd be a good one.
Yeah, it might be. Be.
Well, congratulations, Coach. Keep it up over there. You're doing a great job.
Good luck to you.
Thanks, guys. All right, thanks, guys. Y'all have a good evening.
Jimmy's now the fortune teller here.
Oh, man. Let me tell you.
I'd rather your fortune teller.
Hey, but look, going back to scheduling games, and let's talk about the job Eric does at the LHSAA. As far as I know, there's never been communication between coaches and the head of the coaches association like there is with Eric. And when there is that type of communication, they have a lot of trust in Eric. And for them to be able to set up games is just, I'm sure, a huge benefit. But it all goes back to the relationship that Eric has with all these coaches.
And, Eric's coached up in the Natchitoches area, coaching the Baton Rouge area, is well known over the South Louisiana, New Orleans area. And Eric builds the relationships, not only football, it's everybody, but Eric does do a good job.
Is it with the stories? Is it with the stats?
True stories. Both.
All true.
All three of those. And look, special thanks to Gary Dewey. Central, he's coaching girls basketball out there now, but got us on the sidelines tonight. They've made some administrative changes as to who all can get on the sideline just to keep it safer during these times, and they're doing a good job. And I want to thank Coach Dewey for giving us that. And good to see Coach Lorio out there also.
We'll take a timeout. We'll be right back to wrap up tonight's Week 1 edition of the Lake Urgent Care Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and Cox Sports Television.
Yo, Jake here for Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic, the place that's going to be convenient for you during an inconvenient time. Look, you hear me talk about my 4 boys all the time, and sometimes things like stitches, well, they happen. And in fact, they have. And Patient Plus is always taking care of us, just like they'll do the same for you. And now with 7 convenient locations across the Baton Rouge area, open from 9 a.m. until 9 p.m., 7 days a week. And also at PatientPlusUC.com, you can sign up for your appointment on the way to the clinic. That's Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic. Get in and get better.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. Electric today for electrical repairs, upgrades, and installations.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Do you have or have you had COVID-19? Antibody screening or rapid molecular testing can tell you. Lake Urgent Care Lake After Hours offers both with results from molecular testing in minutes. Learn more at lakeurgentcare.com.
Services. Let Total Occupational Medicine design a customized plan to meet your company's needs. Or for more information, visit TotalOCCMed.com.
Football season is finally here. Football! And at Red Stick Sports, it's time to get geared up. So get on out to the Red Stick Sports on Essen now and get properly fitted by their professional staff in all the latest style. Douglas, Wilson, Nike, Adidas, they have it all. And team pricing is always available. So come in and ask for Ryan, Dylan, Cody, or the legendary Mike Powers. They're all here to get you geared up the right way. On Essen Lane, Baton Rouge is Red Stick Sports.
If something's not working and you need an electrician, call Nicotri Electric. For residential, commercial, remodels, or rewires, and service calls, call Nicotri Electric at 929-9867. Let the top-rated electrical company in the Baton Rouge area for 30 years take care of all your electrical needs. No job is too big or too small. Nicotri Electric can do it all. 929-9867. Call today and let the friendly and knowledgeable staff get you out of the dark and back up and running.
Carter Plantation is inviting you to stay and play at the refurbished villas at Carter Plantation in Springfield, Louisiana. Perfect for a corporate outing or fundraising event that includes golf at the David Toms Design Carter Plantation Golf Course. You're going to love our new golf cart fleet provided by EasyGo that features built-in Pace Technology GPS with all the bells and whistles. For more information, call 225-414-0680 or go to thevillas@carterplantation.com.
The Lake Urgent Care, Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
It's all right, Kay. Just a little technical difficulty.
How's it going, fellas?
Glad you could come back.
Thanks. All right. Well, if you're able to listen to us, this is the final segment of tonight's Week 1 edition of the Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show. Lots of challenges tonight. We wanted to make sure we thank all the coaches who took a couple minutes out of their day, their evening to join us. Chris Towery from over at Salford, David Semino from Catholic High on their big road trip win to Maryland. Neville head football coach Jeff Tannehill, the Advocates Robin Fambro, Ben Love, the voice of the Karen Crow Bears, our Lafayette correspondent, Andy Martin from U High, and Eric Held, the director of the LHSCA.
We got a lot of people in not hear us.
Yes,
it was good to get some games in tonight. We didn't know what the future. When we left here last week, we didn't know what it was going to look like. Hopefully, guys down south can rebound as much as they can, have as much of the season as they can, and everybody stay safe and go forward with the rest of the season. A couple games we didn't really mention tonight. I know we scored with big win for Zachary over West Feliciana. West Feliciana is better in year 2. Score that stuck out to me up north, Todd, was Mangum 27, Oak Grove 23, and then of course, Union Parish 42 over Manny 32.
That's what happens when you play somebody that's a little good. You get tested.
And I talked to a coach this week that had seen Manny on film, and he said they are a 5A team in playing 2A.
Well, they are. They got that many kids out there, So
they look good.
And but Oak Grove struggled last week in their jamboree.
Yeah.
General Trask rebounded. I mean, not rebounded, but they had a really good year last year.
They're replacing their backfield. They lose the big Creighton kid that was their fullback in that old West Monroe type of offense they run. One thing I'm looking forward next week to, and hopefully they're getting to play, is Dutchtown. They haven't had any kind of jamboree. They haven't got to play week 1. Their conditioning, how is it going to be? Haven't been off a week of practice. I think they have Evangel, I think it is. So that'll be a good one for them to get under their feet. But I'm anxious to see what they do. And again, nothing they did wrong. It's just the way it fell out.
Yep, they just had some bad luck on the ruling from the LHSA and so forth. But did you just mention Madison Prep? I don't know that you did, but that was just a field goal of all things, and to win 38-35. But that's awesome.
And if you remember them last year, we got to see them play a couple times. They had the old style straight on kicker. I wonder if they have the same one or if they have a new field goal kicker. But that's a good win for them to go over and beat St. Thomas More over there. St. Thomas More, I don't know if you've ever been there, Todd, has a unique feel about it. I guess you could say they come in from the middle of the bleachers and kind of like Central does now, and a great atmosphere over there for them to go on the road. That's a big one for Coach Williams.
It's interesting, man. Good quarterback. Which is his 3rd year.
Zion Chris. He's been starting since he's a freshman. And the unique thing about Zion is he's shown he can win ball games playing different ways. If you remember, you go back to his sophomore year, he was over 3,000-yard passer. Threw the ball all over the place. Comes back last year, they became a run team. They'd line up under center. They'd get an I formation sometimes. They ran the football.
Is he getting a ton of looks?
He's committed to UL.
Okay, good.
Committed to UL.
Good.
That annual rivalry with Bruley and Port Allen, and Bruley coming away with the win for Coach Hofschooler over there.
I think that's two teams that's been on the uprise. You go back to 2019, Bruley made their first quarterfinal appearance. Last year, Port Allen had made their second quarterfinal appearance. I think both teams, Coach Gibson, Coach Schooler, both of them have programs going in the right direction.
Saw this in the paper, and being it is a friend of the show, I figured it's something you're going to see probably trending over the next couple of weeks. Teams looking for opponents in EA's. Coach Darnell Lee, they were looking for that week 4 opponent, I believe. A team that's probably not, in a position to play quite yet. And I was going through a list. There was a good article by our friend Ken Trahan at CrescentCitySports.com.
CrescentCitySports.com.
It would list the school, and it would list kind of just a couple of quotes from the coach. And the last quote, as you would see, is, I think we're going to be week 3 or 4. We're hopeful for district. And it's tough to read because you feel for these guys. And I know that there's been some damage. I believe Breck Stadium's still not. They still are without electricity. Maybe some lights.
Some of them were. South Lafourche, we saw a picture of theirs. Half of their scoreboard was gone. Hanville area got hit hard. East St. John was hit hard. Destrehan, all that area. Cade's familiar with the Vanderbilt Catholic. I think that area. They didn't get to play their big rivalry with E.D. White. It's everywhere.
St. Charles Catholic took a big hit too.
They've been taking some good hits over there in Laplace.
Yeah, a lot of flooding.
So our thoughts and prayers are with our neighbors down in southeast Louisiana and New Orleans on the North Shore and Livingston and surrounding areas. We will return with the week 2 edition of the Prep Scoreboard Show, and hopefully, as each week comes, we add a couple of more games and we just continue to see who we can add back to the mix. It's a very interesting start to the season, but hey, we've got it started, and we'll see how this continues. For Coach Todd Black, for Jimmy Roy, for Ryan Kennedy, Taylor Sharp, Charlie, and Will, I'm Cade Wazan. We will see you next week here on the Scoreboard Show.